Hello, futures officers. How are you? I hope you're doing good. So, another day, another topic we'll be decoding. And the topic for today is latitude and longitude. Along with that, we'll be knowing also about D-lat and D-long. What is difference in latitude and difference in longitude. So, let us start off with this topic, which is latitude and longitude. So, what is it? Latitude and longitude are the core navigational concept. Without this, your entire navigation will fail, will not even exist. Without latitude and longitude. So these are the two fundamental principles every decade must master. It is not just decade, everyone on board ships. I'm not even exempting the deck ratings. Even them, they should know what a latitude and longitude is. Okay. So latitude and longitude is the angular position coordinates on Earth's surface. It is basically you're telling where am I if we have taken a reference point. Let me make it very clear. For example, if I'm asking where are you standing? So with reference to one point, you'll be telling I am standing next to the red table. So you have given a reference point, right? So likewise, latitude and longitude is a way of telling your position, where do you stand on the entire globe. This is such a huge planet and you cannot give everyone cannot have the individual position. So we have taken one specific position, that is the Greenwich meridian and the equator, the point of intersection, that is 0 degree and 0 degree latitude and 0 degree longitude. That is the reference point. With reference to that, where are we? That is the position telling, and that is done by the latitude and longitude. And D-lat and D-long is basically the difference between the latitude and difference between the longitude. Difference between two latitude is D-lat and difference between two longitude is D-long. Okay. These form foundation of chartwork sailing, scores, calculation and position fixing. You can see in the diagram the horizontal line is the latitude. You can say latitude. Latitude is the lateral line, which is the horizontal line, and longitude, you can say long is for tall people. So this is the longitude. Okay. So now we'll start off with what is latitude. Latitude is actually the angular distance north or south of equator. This is a very basic definition. Okay. If I have to tell what a longitude is, latitude is, this is, let this be the equator. Okay. This is Earth's globe. Okay, I know the diagram is very bad, but let this be the equator's plane, the plane of the equator. This 0 degree latitude. Okay, so what is a 1 degree? What is a 30 degree latitude? Okay, we have drawn an imaginary line. This is the center of the Earth, and we have drawn an imaginary line. Okay, this line which joins the equator on the Earth's surface, and then we have drawn an imaginary line like this which joins that particular point. Okay, this might be some point which is at 30 degree north latitude. This is 30 degree north latitude. So we have drawn an imaginary line like this, an imaginary line like this. Okay, this has moved. So this particular angle is 30 degree. This particular angle is 30 degree. That's why I have told you that this is 30 degree north. And why not? Because this is on the northern side of the equator. If likewise I have got something over here and I draw a line like this and I measure it, okay, and this comes out to be 60 degree. So since it is on the southern part of the equator, this becomes 60 degree south. Okay, basically latitude is the angle at the center of the earth. Angle at the center of the earth between the earth, between the point where this imaginary line meets the earth's surface at 0 degree and the point or any point of on the earth's surface. If I'm getting you, this is any point. Okay, this is the earth's plane. Okay, this is the imaginary line, this center of the earth, and this is one point, and I draw an imaginary line from this point to this point. Okay, this point to this point. Now the angle between these two is, for example, 20 degree. So now the latitude becomes 20 degree. And now since it is on the northern part, this becomes 20 degree north. And if it is on the southern part, it becomes 20 degrees south. Okay, latitude is actually the angle at the center of the earth, and this is the line. between whom we are describing, the line which is joining the 0, 0, 0 degree point on the 0, 0 degree point on the earth surface and the point, any point on the earth. Okay, it could be 30 degree, could be over here as well, it could be over here. So that's why longitude comes into play. It is 0 to 90 degree, north or south, line runs east to west, and very natural. These are parallel of latitudes. Okay, don't confuse latitudes with parallel of latitudes. Okay, parallel of latitudes are basically small circles. There are two types of circle: great circle and small circle. So parallel of latitude are small circle. Equator is a great circle, and all the longitude are great circle, and they are called parallels of latitude. Latitude tells how far or up and down a position is on the earth. So I've told you in depth what a latitude is. It is angle at the center of the earth. Now comes the longitude. What is a longitude? It is again, you see, this is the reference line, prime meridian. Okay, this particular line, if you can see, this particular line, this one, if you can see, the angle between this line and the reference line is 30 degree. Okay, over here at the poles. Okay, this is measured at the poles, is 30 degree. So now the longitude becomes 30 degree west because this is on the western side. Don't confuse that you're looking it from this way. So this is on the no, that this is on the western side or this on the eastern side. Don't confuse. Okay, so this is the east, this is the west one. Okay, I'm sorry. This is 30 degree angle. Okay, don't confuse it. This is the eastern side and this is the western side. Okay, if you stand like this, we live on the eastern side. If you stand like this, if this is the prime meridian, India is somewhere over here. Okay, this point. So this is the eastern and this is the western side. Okay, range is 0 to 180 degree, direction east or west, line runs north to south and called meridian of longitude. Okay, I hope I have made you clear with the longitude part. Now what is difference of latitude? As you can see, difference of latitude is actually the difference between the two latitudes. It could be 30 degree north and 20 degree north. It could be 20 degree north and 30 degree south, anything. Now this is, I have given you two cases. The difference of latitude is the north-south separation between 2 points. This has given a technical definition of the D-lat, but I've given you in a very simple way. This is the difference between the two latitudes, but this is where the game changes. Okay. If in generally in mathematics, you know, when you talk about differences, you think about subtracting, but in difference of latitude, it is also, when we talk about difference, we also talk about adding. Why? When the names are same, when both the latitudes are in the same hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, we subtract. If it is 40 degree north and 20 degree north, we subtract. The D-lat becomes 20 degree north. It's obvious. But now, when one latitude is on the northern hemisphere and one latitude is on the southern hemisphere, we don't subtract, we add. If it is 40 degrees south and it is 20 degree north, we add up to 60 degree south. Why did I write south? Because the name is taken by the bigger value. If it is, if in case 40 degree north would have been there and it was 20 degrees south, the difference would be 60 degree north, because the north value is higher than the south value. Now to give you a better picture, why do we add? Okay, let us take a reference line. Okay, this is equator. If both are latitude or in the same hemisphere, let it be 40 degree north and 20 degree. So I have to find the distance between these two. So what I'll do, I'll subtract. Now the difference between these two is 20 degree north. And since it is in the north, it will obviously be in the northern hemisphere. It won't be south. But now let us take into this consideration. There is this another latitude which is 40 degrees south. which is 40° south. Now I need to find dlat over here. We need to find dlat over here. So what we'll do is, this is greater value, this is smaller value. We'll add. This is 20, this is 40, 40 plus 20. Now this difference becomes 60°. And since this southern one is higher than the northern one, it will get into 60° south. Okay? You can see from the example. Okay, all of this PDF will be shared in the Decoded Telegram group. You can join and you can go through all of these things. Okay. Now, what is difference of longitude? Difference of longitude is basically the difference between two longitudes. Okay, same case, same thing. Okay, if it is of the same name, okay, if it is of the same name, we'll subtract. If it is of the different name, we'll add. But let's go through this definition one. It's the east-west separation between 2 points, same name, east is subtract, as I said, different name, they'll be added. Okay, let's go through some example. And name of the larger value. Same name, if one of the longitude is 010 east and other is 018 east, the d long, the difference in longitude becomes 8° east, and since it is on the eastern side, east gets its name. Now with different name. Okay. Now the longitude is 010 west and the other longitude is 018 east. Now we need to find what is the d long. So since as I've told, same name, they'll subtract, different name, they'll be added. So it obviously becomes 018 plus 010, it becomes 028°. I'm sorry, this is written wrong. It becomes 028°. And since east is of the higher value, it will get east's name, 028°. Now there's a game changer over here. Okay. For example, different name, but we have something over here. Let us consider this 14° east and this 14° east and 170° west. Okay. Now I need to find the d long. What is the d long between the two longitude? Let us make it in one. D long between two longitude, 170°. Okay, what is the d long of the two longitude? So see, you can see that we need to find this. There is nothing like easterly or westerly difference. No, that is different. But d long is basically the difference. Now we need to find, as I said, a different name, they'll be added. So 140 plus 170, it becomes 310. Now this is entirely 310. This is entirely 310. This is technically not wrong that 310 is the d long, but since our longitude are taken from 0 to 180, so our d long will also be considered between 0 to 180°. Now how do we find the d long in this case? What we'll do, the entire circle is of 360°. Entire circle is of 360°. And now we know this difference, which is 310°. Now we need this. So what we'll do, we'll subtract 360 minus 310, which becomes 50°. Now, who will get the name? The bigger one. Who will get the name? The bigger one. 170 is the bigger one. So it becomes 050° west. I hope I have made myself clear. Don't confuse yourself with this 180°. Oh, 170 is closer to 180°. And 140 is farther. No. Yeah, 170° is only 10° away from 180, and 140 is 40°. So 140 should get its name. No, we take it with the reference point from the Greenwich meridian, not the 180° line, which is the international date line. Okay. So what is the difference between d lat and d long? As I've told you, difference of latitude and difference of longitude, as I've explained, it is very simple. D lat is the difference between two latitudes. Okay, It could be either in same hemisphere or in the opposite hemisphere. If it is in the same hemisphere, we'll subtract. If it is in the opposite hemisphere, we'll add. And likewise, and the direction is north or south, obviously. And that difference in longitude is the difference between the two longitudes. Okay, difference between the two longitudes, and it could be in same hemisphere and in the other hemisphere. Quite obvious. Now, why do we need this? Okay, why do we need the longitude, latitude? It's because of sailing calculations. Okay, we need for plain sailing. Okay, we do this calculation. Why we need latitude and longitude? Without latitude and longitude, we are nowhere. We are in lost sea. Okay, this is for plain sailing, for parallel sailing. Okay, for mid latitude sailing and for mercator sailing. For these purposes, we need latitude and longitude for calculation purpose. For position work, how do you find your position? How will you tell that I am at this position? It is because of the latitude and longitude. Chart plotting, okay, the charts have this marking of latitude and longitude. Okay, position line shifting, estimated position. All without latitude and longitude, none of these things are possible. Departure calculation. I hope you know what departure is. Departure is if this is d lat, this is d long. With the help of these, you can find departure. By knowing your course, you can find d lat and departure. This is the shortest distance between any two points. Okay. Drumline sailing, great circle sailing. You know, all of these things requires latitude, longitude, d lat and d long. So this was it. If you have any doubt regarding latitude and longitude, you can always comment, and we'll cater to your doubts. But for this is for deck cadets who are going for their first ship and want to know how things work on board ship, want to learn, make themselves theoretically very good. So this package is for you, where you will get technical onboard videos, you will be getting ROR explanation. Okay, you will be getting videos regarding soundings and engine room exposure as well. So it would be like knowing about ship before going on board ship. Okay, so you'll then have to focus just on the practical part on the ship. This package will take care of the theoretical part of the ship, of your training. So if you like the video, do follow us on our social media handle, which is Deck Officers Decoded on Instagram and Deck Officers Decoded on YouTube. And this is the Telegram channel, as I've mentioned, where we'll be sharing the notes of this particular presentation, and you can join. We share quiz in that group, and we share fun facts as well, which will be useful for you on board ships. So thank you for listening patiently, and have a good day ahead.